Trenchcoat Ralph was crazy. He just looked like a sex offender.
He really did. As we grew up and we learned more about the world, it made less and less sense. As a child, we didn't have enough frame of reference.
No.
But as we grew, we're like, I wish they'd stop doing that. But
Yeah.
And also, do you think if you saw a humanoid turtle in a trench coat, you'd be like, man, that guy was weird. But, oh well, and you just go on about your day, like, that's not going to happen.
Maybe put some fucking shoes on, is what I'm saying.
That'd be great.
There's like a lot of other moves.
You could do pants. Pants would be nice.
Pants would be great.
You have webbed feet. You got the two things. Like, come on.
Because even if he didn't have pants on, then it's like, okay, this dude's in a trench coat and knee pads. That's already a problem.
You got a big problem on our hands.
That's already, I'm crossing the street.
Green legs.
Yeah.
The legs are green. I see all that. Come on.
The fedora doesn't class it up enough for me not to notice green legs and knee pads.
And he's stinking like pizza. This is a giant red flag.
God.
As long as you know I can have any man I want to, baby, that's actual and factual. Welcome back to another episode of My Mama Told Me.
The podcast where we dive deep into the pockets of black conspiracy theories.
And we finally worked to prove that Shatasha Williams is not just the long-gone forgotten singer of the hook of Thuggish Ruggish Bone. She is, in fact, a founding member of the group. They were the Bone Thugs, and she was the Harmony.
Whoa.
We forgot about that, didn't we? I got you, Shatasha, baby. Keep your head up. My name is David Board.
I'm Langston Kerman. Our guest he's already feeling it. Please.
People don't talk enough about Antasha. She said Antasha.
Come on.
And we forgot about her. And then they said in the name, Bone Thugs and Harmony. We know they weren't singing.
Come on.
Justice for Tasha. Yeah. Thank you, Bori. Can I call you Bori?
Yeah, you can call. I prefer it.
Bori, man, you protecting black women by not forgetting what their accomplishments were, what they did, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Come on, she sang all of their names at the end of that song.
Listen,
Flesh in the house.
The knee bone is connected to the girl bone, and we forgot. We forgot that part of the song. Oh man, that's intense. That's damn. Do you think they're ever sitting back and being like, damn, we owe her something. We really fucked her over.
I feel like they must know because I have done a deep bone dive, as we all have. We're adults here.
Sure. If this were Cameron's podcast, we would have had to pause you pretty hard there, but this ain't that podcast.
2024, I'm no pauses.
There we go.
All gas, no brakes. I'm going straight.
You. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
I just talk, and sometimes sometimes I talk about mouth meat stuff, and it means whatever you need it to mean.
You got to put that on your website. Sometimes I talk about mouth meat stuff. That feels like a little bit of a signature detail about you.
I wouldn't say I don't need to celebrate it. It's just, how I'm living day to day.
We are excited. You've already heard his voice. Our guest today, we've been trying to get him on for a long time, and it's finally happening. And he's so funny, and we're so grateful that he's here. He's a comedian, a producer, a content creator, a person of extraordinary breath and talents. He's wonderful. He's funny. You're gonna love him. Please give it up for our guest, Mr. KevOnStage, everybody.
What up, man?
There we go.
Nice.
I got a few in there.
Hey, thanks you guys for having me on the show, man. I'm excited to be here, man. This is the way to kick off the year. Hollywood, we really just started working today for real.
Yeah.
So this is feels like the first day back at school, and I'm glad to be doing this with y'all.
Yeah, no, we're happy you're here. I was at my manager's office this morning, and they said something similar to that, and I got real mad. I was like, y'all niggas, what? I didn't work for 9 months, bitch. What you mean you just getting started today?
Take the first off. There's work to be done.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, get your ass back in the office and make some calls that aren't going to turn into anything, but call them anyway.
Call them, man.
I'm trying to read for the In the House reboot.
At least lie to me, man. Just lie to me. At least tell me I made some calls. They passed. Tell me something, man.
That's all I'm asking for is make me believe you tried. Do that thing where a car is coming and we trot across the street and we're not going any faster than when we be walking, but trot. Show me the trot.
Give me a light jog, man.
Man, that's a big way that I show people how I care about them. I do.
Yeah. The little trot.
I just pick the shoulders up. Maybe. The feet does not change. The feet
doesn't change at all.
Funny,
but I'll give you mine.
That's all people can ask for.
That's all you can ask for.
I'm walking.
Kev, you came to us with a conspiracy theory that I don't think I had ever heard before. Bori, where do you fall?
I've heard this before.
You have heard this. Mm-hmm. That's exciting. Okay, great. So I'm the only idiot here. But you said my mama told me
never play with silver toys when there's lightning outside, or you will be struck down.
Exactly. So, you know, growing up as we probably did, we're in the same generation. You know, action figures were a big part of our life. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have iPads and stuff like that. We had cartoon, we played outside, we had action figures. Mm-hmm. So at the time that I learned of this conspiracy theory, I had a Shredder, which was my prize villain. I was a big Turtles fan. Okay. You know, I had a couple legit Turtles, and I didn't always get the actual toys. I got versions of them. You know, you know, like I remember one year I asked my dad for the Batman coupe with you know what I'm saying, and it came with Batman. And he just got me the coupe. It was in the box and the Batman was gone. And I was like, what happened to the Batman? He was like, you a kid in Africa wouldn't have had nothing. I was like, but he didn't just buy like a coupe. Batman came in that box. Somebody had opened it and taken the Batman out. And then somehow my dad just came into possession of the coupe. But I was like, I have nobody to put in the coupe. So I just had a random G.I. Joe man in the coupe. It just didn't hit the same.
He was just hanging out in the back of Kmart being like, y'all ain't about to throw this away, right?
Exactly.
Because I know a boy who might like this quite a bit.
Salvation Army Christmas gifts, you know, whatever it was. So he gave me like half of what I wanted. But at this time, I had mostly off-brand men. We called them men. I had mostly off-brand men. Just
legally, you had to call them men.
Because they're not action figures. They're not sold at Toys R Us or KB Toys. They sold at places that don't even sell toys. You know what I'm saying?
Swap G.I. Jojo.
Exactly. They adjacent, right? So, but this time I had actually, I think for like a birthday, I had like 4 of the actual Turtles and an actual Shredder. So these were like the creme de la creme of my toys. I play with them every day. So I'm playing with them, you know what I'm saying? It's a lightning storm and the power is out. So I'm really like, oh, this is, you know what I'm saying? I'm playing with these action figures, right? So my mom comes in and I got the Shredder in my right hand. I don't know why this is such a vivid memory. Maybe because I was so confused by what she was saying.
Yeah.
And she was like, what are you doing, boy? Put that down. You know you can't play with no silver toy. You gonna get struck down by lightning. And I looked at the Shredder and I'm like, this is plastic. First of all, this is not. And I was not like, I've always been kind of a smart person. I'm in my head. I was young enough to know that this cannot conduct electricity at all. There is and his Shredder stuff was coming off, right? You know what I'm saying? I play with the toy for real.
Yeah.
So you can see it's like brown, you know what I'm saying? It's like the color of the skin under there.
You get Shredder in the bathtub one too many times, and that ain't Shredder no more.
Exactly. It wasn't like they were putting a lot of, you know, high quality stuff into these men.
That's just a Japanese man in football gear. That ain't
Shredder Japanese.
He's Japanese. Yeah.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, in the lore, I think there's a lot of lore in Ninja Turtles about where Shredder and Splinter come from, some of which suggests that they are connected directly and some of which they didn't know each other at all. Always Shredder was like a big mob guy in Japan that then finds its way into New York somehow.
Learned something. I thought he was Italian for some reason.
I'm gonna get you, turtles.
Yeah. Now look under the sewers.
Do you guys have accents on your resume? Do you have Italian accent proficient? Because you need to add it. If you don't have it, you need to add it.
Oh, no. I tend to only do these in the house.
So she was like, she wasn't fussing. She was just genuinely concerned. Like, put this, and I'm like, I'm inside the house. The windows are closed. I didn't say any of this because she's a black mom. Like, you can't.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But in my head, I'm like, how is lightning going to come through the world? Mm-hmm. Avoid all the objects outside that are actual silver, catalytic converters, everything that's in the world. Go through my closed window and see this plastic shredder in my hand and strike me with lightning. Like, I just was like, there's no way this could be true. But I put it down. I picked up like Rocksteady and Bebop. She was like, all right, now that, like, those are purple. You know what I'm saying?
Now, those are decent lightning-fearing men. Go ahead. Enjoy yourself in the dark.
But I just I remember I never bought into it. Like, I don't have foil. I don't have a fork. This is a plastic man with more plastic that is just colored to look like silver. You know what I'm saying? I can't die. And I never heard no other parents say that. That was the first. It's actually interesting that Bori had heard that because I wasn't like at the other friend's house and they were like, man, you know what I'm saying? Mom was on that. Like, I never heard that before or from anybody else. But it's good to know that it's not that unusual.
I've heard it just with metal in general. Silver is specific. I had just heard it in metal. Don't be fucking around with metal.
Got it.
There's lightning outside.
I think that's what I had heard as well, is like you can't like be running around with forks when there's lightning outside.
Because to be completely honest, I don't have any silver in the house now. I'm 36 years old. Like, I don't have
we got to get you some silver.
Oh, you got so much silver on it right now, Langston. You got so much silver. You got so much fucking silver.
You got to have silver in your house.
You, man. I don't believe you.
No, I don't have an ounce of silver.
Exactly.
Trust me, daddy.
Yo, you're going crazy. You're doing good.
Doing your thing.
Yeah, I had always heard metal, like avoid obviously metal objects holding metal during lightning storms.
Yeah.
I had never heard silver specifically, and I certainly had never then spread that out to even silver appearing objects. Do you think that there was a specific reasoning for silver for your mom?
You know, it's funny. Metal makes sense. I feel like maybe through the grapevine, somebody said metal and she just was like, silver is metal. I'm just going to take the metal part out and focus on the silver. Because I never questioned that part until today. Metal, I would have believed, and the thing I think was messing with me is the toy was plastic.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was just like, this doesn't make any sense. But, how do black parents learn anything? Right? Like, the internet's really interesting because I'm realizing like there's this meme that goes viral every once in a while. It's like, if you had this cover, you was black. And it's like a blanket I recognize. And I'm like, how did so many where was this manufactured?
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like that information came through like that, like the way those cookies became tins for like sewing. Like, who's the first person that does that? Why do we black people, so many of us have that shared experience? That, there's no cookies in the cookie tin, but there's like sewing equipment or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it was one of those things. Like, I don't know how this information got around, but it seems to be common knowledge.
It does speak to the fact that, like, to some extent, the black community that we refer to did exist in a much more active way when we were kids, and obviously when our parents were kids and all of that shit, in part because they were all learning from the same 6, like, templates of people, where it's like everybody just learned the same 6 things. So we are in fact a community, and now the internet sort of disrupts the ability for that to even be true anymore.
Yeah,
you know what
sure.
I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like a lot of my life I've taken so much word as fact from just like a dude sitting on the hood of a car.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
And it's like he's confident he has a car, I guess.
The confidence is key, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I remember my mom once told me that that Aretha Franklin's son had run off with what's his name? He was the army dude in fucking Different World, and I can't remember his fucking name now. But he's a very fantastic actor.
Lou Rawls?
No, not Lou Rawls.
I mean, not Lou Rawls. Louis Gaines?
Yes.
Some Mr.
Not
Gaines,
Louis
the guy who
Gossett
played.
Jr.
Oh,
God damn, I'm gonna be
oh,
mad.
the
that
other
I-
dude,
Yeah, he was in Fargo season 5.
Glenn Turman.
Yes,
Yes.
Glenn
Rapper.
Turman.
Yeah.
My mom told me for
said Lou
years that
Rawls.
Glenn Turman had like a secret affair with Aretha Franklin's son. They had run off together, and that was why her and Glenn Turman didn't make it and all this shit. And I've never even looked up to verify if there's any truth to that. And I've never heard anyone else make that claim.
Did
It was
you-
just my mom saying it.
Did you come home? My house, we believed everybody was related. We were one of those. Like Tatiana Ali was for sure Muhammad Ali's daughter. What? I quoted that till recently.
Yeah. And then you look it up and you're like, oh, no, I don't think so.
I think it's because I was like, well, there's not that many famous black people. They must be related
Half
Yeah,
down
yeah,
the
yeah.
line.
Like,
Down
that
the line,
has
got to
to-
connect somewhere.
at some point. There's a lot of Smiths, a lot of Jacksons. Is that crazy? You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
So your mom says this to you. You agree to disagree, but you put down the shredder.
Yeah.
Have you carried any of this onward in your life? Have you since been like weirdly superstitious or nervous around silver objects in a lightning storm, despite what you know logically to be untrue inside of this?
No, absolutely not. I think as hard as it is to admit, I didn't believe my mom. I just could not defy her. And I think
Sure.
those are two separate things.
Oh yeah.
In my
this-
mind, I was just like, this is just not true. But, you know, small black children didn't really have a voice growing up the way we did. We really couldn't question our parents.
Yeah.
But I remember being like, this is just not true. And if she weren't here, I would be playing with this. And if I got struck by lightning, I would have been really surprised. Like, dang, she was right.
Listen,
That is
let me-
crazy.
Let me tell you,
But-
as far as my family, large black men don't have much of a voice. I'm still not pushing the line on things she says.
Really?
She had a hard. She's from a different country. I don't know. Maybe they are sneaky. I don't.
Oh my God.
Yo, my mom just tried to FaceTime me. That's bad luck,
Oh, you in
That's
trouble.
bro. Bad.
Yeah, you
She
fucked
was
up.
on it, bro. She was
Oh,
on it.
No.
Baby girl figured out how to get a feed, and she's
Man, if she's listening.
she heard exactly what you said.
Yeah, if she's listening, I'll call you back, mommy. I'm sorry. I have a question for you guys,
Yeah,
though,
please.
specifically to this, because this one is big for me. How afraid of electricity were you as a child, though?
Oh man, I have a funny story about this
Me
that
too.
that I haven't thought about in a long time. I was a bright kid, but also not the brightest at all. So upon learning about conducting electricity and metal and stuff and how you shouldn't put forks in sockets, I went home immediately one day and was like, nah, ain't no way. And I promise y'all, as God is my witness, this happened for real.
Oh no.
Went home from school that day, take a fork, immediate sock, go to my room, close the door, first socket that I
I love
see.
that. I first of all, I love that you needed privacy for this.
He turned the lights down.
Supreme.
Light a candle.
Yeah.
Put that Lou Rawls on that you were talking about earlier. And now it's fork and socket time.
Complete.
You'll never find a fork like mine.
So yeah, close the door, take this fork, immediately go to the socket, and no condom, no foreplay.
Mm.
Jam it in
Oh,
the
no.
socket, right? And I promise y'all, I saw a bubble. Like I got shocked immediately, and I saw what felt like a bubble the size of, like, you remember those little like 25-cent things you buy a toy and you take the
Yeah.
so probably like half of that bubble
Oh.
go up my forearm
Oh no.
all the way up here. immediately, I knew I was a superhero.
That's exactly what I was. I'm so glad you said that.
I was like, oh my God, this is my, because, you know, we watching X-Men and Spider-Man. They all have that like event. And I spent the rest of the day trying to like, you know, kind of like the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, like how he's trying to, I was like, how do I get the electricity? I don't realize I nearly probably killed myself. I am like,
You're like, no, I know it's in me. I just haven't figured out how to activate it.
Figured out how to activate this electric. Like I should be flying. The electron should be flowing through me. I'm a science experiment now. Am I a hero or villain? It depends. I don't know. It's too early to tell. Yeah. First thing I got to do is get these powers under control. Spent like the whole afternoon doing that. And eventually I just was like, man, I'm kind of hungry. And I just like made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and never revisited that moment again.
First of all, I'm sorry that happened to you. I was hopeful too. I was hopeful that story ended with you having electric powers.
No, it feels like an origin story for sure.
Yeah.
I was right there, man. The spider bit me. I fell into the vat of science liquid and I just no powers, man.
Yeah.
You did all right though. It's okay.
Yeah, you did all right for yourself. I too, as a child, I wasn't as afraid of it as much as I wanted to be able to access some powers.
Yeah.
And so many of like great superheroes tend to come from like weird accidents like that.
Yep.
Like the Flash was my favorite growing up. Like
really?
I wanted to be I was like, I'm a run fast. And so there would be times I wasn't brave enough to stick a fork in a socket, but there were times, and I remember this specifically, where like we moved to this neighborhood called Bellwood, which is like outside of Chicago. It's like a more black neighborhood than I was living in at the previous to that. And I would go outside and race cars. Like I would sit like in front of my house and wait till cars were passing, and then I would just run full speed next to cars, being like, "Yeah, I'm gonna fucking beat this car." And then at one point, it was like a weird hour of the day where I'm racing a car and a dude yelled out, "The fuck are you doing?" And I was like, I can't. I guess I ain't got no powers. And I don't think I'm gonna race cars no more.
All it took was one random outburst for you to stop your dream.
Yeah, I was like, this ain't superpowers. This is accountability, and I'm meeting it.
Hey, each one teach one. I was afraid. I didn't think I could get superpowers, but I have a very specific reason I was afraid of electricity. I was a big latchkey kid, right? And if you were a latchkey kid, it was don't cook was like the big thing, right? Mm-hmm. Do not cook. Don't fucking cook. And so mom was gone. I cook immediately because we didn't have anything good in the house. So it was after school. We didn't have anything good. I was like, I'm gonna make a tuna fish sandwich, but I was like, let me church this up a bit. You know what's better than a tuna fish sandwich? A hot tuna melt.
Yeah.
Right? So I get
lying.
You're not wrong about it. I see the logic.
I'm
saying it started out smart. So I took the can off, I drained the juice, and then I was like, I'll just throw the can in the microwave.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
I was like, I'll just throw the can in the microwave to heat it up, right?
Oh God, no.
And I put it in there, and I'm sitting because I couldn't have been more than 8 or 9. I'm sitting about 3 inches away from that bitch, and there was like 4 seconds in, maybe there was like a lightning bolt that went from the top of the can to the side of the can, and it was like all bright, and it hurt my eyes, and I backed up. And ever since then, I've been so afraid of because I thought the whole house was gonna burn down. And ever since then, I've been so afraid of electricity.
I thought you were going to say you've been afraid of tuna. Like, you know what, man?
No.
I ain't been nowhere near tuna ever since, man.
Nigga, get that albacore away from me.
If anything, I doubled down.
So did you eat anything that day, or were you just
I just pulled it out and made it a cold tuna fish sandwich.
Oh, man.
I love that you were not deterred. You're like, okay, that's out. Regular tuna fish is cool. I'll just go with that.
Yeah, you ate that radiated tuna?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It wasn't like we had a bunch to just like throw around. You know what I mean? I already had a plan. You
took a big swing making the tuna. You couldn't just skip it.
Big swing. Yeah, it's hilarious.
But man, I remember how it scared the shit out of me.
No, it's great.
So you didn't get the lightning powers that you dreamt of. You don't believe necessarily that your mom was correct in all of this.
Mm-mm.
Where do you stand now in all of this? What are you telling your children? You're a father. What are you telling your children as it relates to lightning and experimentation with forks and sockets and whatnot?
You know what? My kids are 17 and 15. I realize I've never had a conversation with them about any of the safety of lightning, period.
Oh, man.
I think also because like their generation didn't grow up outside as much as we did.
Mm-hmm.
So they're never like, I can't even say they've ever been outdoors in a lightning storm, thunder lightning storm, when they weren't like in a car or something.
Yeah.
Really?
So I never had to pass that along. It's so interesting how the thing about parenthood that really messes with my mind is like
The money.
But in addition to that, it's like, for better for worse, you really are responsible for somebody's worldview. Like how they start off seeing the world. Then they either have to accept that, change it. Like my mom was like, this is the thing about lightning, kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I had to reject that, but at least she put she put something out there. And I feel like that's the wildest thing about parenthood is like, bro, I don't even know what's happening in the world. Don't listen to me. I don't know.
Right.
I don't even know how good I'm doing it as a parent. Just I remember one time it was really funny. I messed with my kids about this. We had like a what does an animal sound, we were doing that. Like it was like a little picture book.
Oh, the pull and play?
No, it was like a picture book. It was like cow, cat. You're like teaching them.
Yeah.
And I would be like, cow. The cow says moo, right? And I remember getting to like giraffe.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, the giraffe doesn't make a sound that we noticed. And I remember thinking, and I did this, I was like, I'm going to make up a giraffe sound. And I hope my kids go to school and fight tooth and nail because they're going to believe me. So I was like, and the giraffe says, and I did that all the time. I made up like alligators, giraffe, any animal that didn't have a sound for sure.
Yeah.
I was just like, and the crocodile says, and I wanted them to just go to school or daycare and be like, no, man, my dad said a giraffe says, and he's right. He was right about cows. He was right about birds and ducks. You know what I'm saying? But like,
why would he lie? Tell me that. It couldn't possibly be because of his insecurity.
Honestly,
it couldn't be because he don't know nothing.
As one member of this panel who's not a father, I think you did the right thing.
I believe
I
so.
think so.
You want him to not respect you? Think you don't know anything about nature? My dad doesn't even know what a giraffe sounds like. He's supposed to keep me safe in the world.
Nah.
You don't even know about a giraffe noise.
If you want to run my household, you better know what a giraffe
You better
sounds
make it
like.
up, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Until we see one and we're proven otherwise. And I remember we went to the zoo one time and they were like, they're not doing the sound. I was like, man, they're maybe tired or something. I don't know.
Oh, he's sick. Yours is sick.
Yeah, see,
That's
this
a
is
sick
the
giraffe.
problem with zoos. They sedate the animals. They're not themselves here.
I was like,
We
we
gotta
should
see
even
them in
be in
nature.
When we go to Africa, then you'll hear the giraffe.
These are in captivity, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if this is true, but did y'all watch Blackfish, the documentary about
Yeah, of
SeaWorld?
course.
Oh, yeah.
So, I went to SeaWorld all the time as a kid. And I remember I remember the dorsal fin thing specifically. It's like flapped over in SeaWorld. And we would, the kids always ask. And they would say, oh, they made up something. Like, oh, yeah, this happens a lot with these type of whales. And then in Blackfish, they were like, that never happens ever. It only happens at SeaWorld. And I remember being like, oh my God, I believe these people because they work with the whale. It never crossed my mind that they could be, it's bias and propaganda. It's big SeaWorld wants to frame little children's minds.
Yeah.
And like, that's what parenthood is like. Like somebody just says something and goes with it so confidently. Who are you to try to question them?
They're like, listen, kids, his dorsal fin is flipped that way because he's having too much fun.
Yeah. He's doubled over in excitement.
You ever had too many Skittles, kids? That's what he feels like.
And we don't know enough to challenge them, man. They have to know. They're the people that be with them all day.
I mean,
they were beating the shit out them whales.
Honestly,
just struggling to keep his fin up.
I'm not pro that, but they did a good job because SeaWorld was fun as shit.
Bro,
it is
I
amazing.
never got to go.
Man, the dolphin show at SeaWorld is one of the top 5 experiences of my whole life.
Wow.
All right, guys, I shouldn't do this. I should not do this.
No,
But
please do it.
We're already having a great time.
Yeah.
I watched that documentary with my wife, and I was like, if I never knew this, I would never know this. Mm-hmm. So we went to vacation in Florida, like, I don't know, 2 years ago. And they were like, we got tickets to SeaWorld, man. We should go. And I was just like, yes, we should. I'm not going to rob my children at least a chance to watch Blackfish and know the lie. But they got to see a whale do this. You have to, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
SeaWorld is still open. The documentary didn't do enough damage, man.
No, it didn't do it.
People were like, oh, that's crazy. But it's still doing well.
Yeah,
and you got to know the stakes. You got to know the stakes. Then you got to choose. You have to know how much fun you had, and then you have to be like, all right, now I choose. Because otherwise, you never even got to have that fun, and that's
probably my issue. Is I've chosen not to do it, but it's only because I've never tried that sweet SeaWorld cocaine. You know what I mean? Like I've never gotten a taste.
It's good, man.
It seems like it.
I feel so bad, but I'm like, man, it is cool though. I'm sorry, man. There's so many. We just got to be honest with ourselves, man. We are not perfect people. We're flawed individuals.
Come on.
And I let capitalism get the best of me, and I was all in for like years. When I saw that, it was like years I didn't take my kids to SeaWorld. But you know, I was weak in that moment, and we had the best time.
You're gonna deprive them. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Which made me feel more guilty. Like if it was terrible, I'd have been like, man, I shouldn't even. But because it was so good, the food was good. The rides.
We watched the show. We ate whale. It was a hell of a time.
But listen, here's what I argue: is that not the mark of a truly great father? You took the burden of that on you, and you internalized it. You didn't pass down generational Blackfish trauma. You said, no, I'm going to let these little kids enjoy it. I know the evil that lurks within.
That's nice.
Exactly, man.
And I respect that.
I'm a hero, low key is what you're telling me.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't think our listeners are going to agree, but that's
Call motherfucking pause, nigga. You know nothing about that.
All right, we have to take a break. We'll be back with more Kev on Stage and more My Mama Told Me.
There was doo-doo feces thrown all over the walls, the floor, the ceiling, and it stunk so bad.
We are back with Kev on Stage.
Was that Michael Jackson?
Of course it was Michael Jackson.
Was that a real clip? Or
of course it was a real clip.
What is he talking about? What was that? What was that from? I've never heard that.
I think he went to the zoo or something. I don't really know.
Oh my God.
If I'm not mistaken, it was something relating to the second trial. I feel like it had something to do with the second trial because that was the era, if I'm remembering correctly, where Michael Jackson had linked up with Johnny Cochran and they were sort of playing him heavy as a black artist being mistreated. They did the same OJ shit where they're like, this is a racial issue. Yeah. And I think it had something to do with people like abusing him or mistreating him and like giving him a shitty boo-boo room or something like that.
Doo-doo, man. Play it one more time.
I was hoping you would say that, yeah.
There was doo-doo feces thrown all over the walls, the floor, the ceiling, and it stunk so bad.
Doo-doo feces from the king of pop, man. How have I went 40 years and I never heard that?
What I like most is that he says there was doo-doo feces as if they are some sort of conjunction, that it is that to say one, you cannot say one without the other. It was doo-doo feces.
I mean, I think there's levels to poop, then we can all agree that. Sometimes you doo-doo, sometimes you feces.
That's true.
Feces, I feel like it's only used in medical terms.
Yeah.
But it's so black that Michael Jackson says doo-doo like that.
Hey, he's a black man.
I imagine him not in character like, man, there's doo-doo everywhere in here, man. What's going on? Michael Jackson, man. Y'all got doo-doo. You got feces over here. It stinks.
It stinks.
Come on,
it
man.
Stinks.
Thriller sold 80 million albums. I got to deal with doo-doo and feces.
You think Prince got doo-doo on his wall?
I own the fucking Beatles catalog. What is wrong with y'all?
I got a monkey, nigga.
Even the monkey don't throw no doodle. He know better than to throw no doodle at me. I wish Bubbles would throw doodle at me. I'll kill him dead. I don't even do like that.
Yeah,
Damn.
he shits in the toilet like an adult.
What a wild, we were talking about SeaWorld earlier. What a wild time where we were just letting regular citizens own exotic animals
It's so
Man.
dangerous.
and take them to award shows and
It's
shit.
such a dangerous practice because I grew up thinking, like, I thought that as a kid. I was like, yeah, I fuck around. I can get a monkey. If shit
That was
goes
my
right.
dream. I was going to get a monkey.
Yeah.
100% I was going to get a spider monkey when I grew up.
See, and this is fucked up. In hindsight, I think I wanted a chimp, which is the most
That's
dangerous
the one that kills you. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen a chimp rip some dude's head. He ripped his scalp off.
You
Like-
seen it?
Not in real life. It was on.
Oh,
it was on the
man.
internet. He was
Yeah.
like, those places. Well, we're gonna pet the monkeys, and the monkey like grabbed his head and just ripped.
Fuck.
And it was like white meat, and I was like, I'm not doing that no more. I used to want to go to Thailand and do that, and now I'm like, I'm unaware of monkey strength. And I seen Planet of the Apes, but I ain't seen head to the white meat in
Nah.
one fell swoop.
Yeah. And I mean, because Planet of the Apes is more about their mental strength, their fortitude,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
But physically, it's a worthy opponent.
They're formidable in many ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. I'm just having such a good time. Formidable. Like, can you imagine somebody hopping into this podcast at this moment and hearing, physically they're a formidable opponent. Chimps are. Anyway, so.
I love that. And then they get off and they're like, what is that podcast about? And they're like, black conspiracy theories. I think it's black people and conspiracy theories. But sometimes they talk about strong ass monkeys.
And Michael Jackson saying doo-doo, man. It all makes sense if you heard the whole episode. You can't skip around. You got to
Stop
listen from
skipping
beginning to-
around.
listen
Enjoy
to
the
whole
ride.
thing.
No, you got to buckle in. We're not Italians.
Yeah.
Kev, I did some research on your conspiracy theory that I would love to unpack with you.
Please.
I went to the National Weather Service website to review some of the
Oh.
supposed myths about lightning. And they do field a lot of weird questions, including if crouching down or lying down in the center of a field during a storm will keep you safe. And I assure you all, it does not. It in fact just makes you dumb and look silly. They said lying down especially is dangerous because if lightning strikes nearby, the electric current that moves through the ground is just like has a better chance of spreading through your whole body.
Oh,
Oh,
snap.
that's dope. I have something more to be scared of. That's good. That's what I want.
Yeah. So don't lie down
Does
thinking that
jumping
like, I'm
help?
not tall.
If you jump,
That's a good question. That is a good question.
because you're
though.
weighing like I'm jumping, so I'm closer to the lightning. But if it misses me and hits the ground, I'm not part of the conducted electricity.
Exactly.
It wasn't in their questions, but I'm happy to submit that one
Please.
afterwards. I'll also submit, can you pray the lightning away? Let's just hit all the silliest ones we can find.
Oh
Huh?
my God.
One of the things that they say, though, is that it is dangerous to be outside in all circumstances during a lightning storm. However, they say the closest thing to a safe alternative we have is being in your actual house. So you were already doing the right thing by being in a home with all of your electricity turned off. And they say that the only time that it actually is dangerous in your house of being struck by lightning is if you are
Doing
around.
the electric slide.
Yeah, if you're doing the electric slide.
Especially the part where we go like if you
That's-
happen to be
yeah,
hitting
yeah.
this.
That's
Oh,
the
my-
conduction. That's the conduction move.
If you strike while it's striking, that's
Oh man, you're done. You are calling for lightning if you're doing that.
That's what it started out. It was a Native American lightning dance. We co-opted it. A lot of people don't know that.
you can't see it. It's electric. But they say that the one time that it is dangerous is that if you are around something that conducts electricity, so they ask you to avoid corded phones if you're still doing that shit, electrical appliances, wires, TV cables, computers, plumbing, metal doors, and windows. No mention of silver shredder toys on the list.
Here's a question that I have. Immediately, this is where my brain goes.
Yep.
You say plumbing. Now, let's say I am taking one of the aforementioned doo-doos. And
one of Michael's infamous doo-doos.
And I'm steepling now, so you understand that I'm being very serious.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility of lightning striking my booty hole?
I'm gonna go so far as to say the booty hole is not the threat there. There are stories of people being in lightning strikes while taking showers. It seems like showers are more of a threat than lightning shooting up the toilet into your booty hole.
Listen, I don't like that tone.
Past the doo-doo. Like it's gotta scoop past the doo-doo to get out.
Well, the doo-doo hugs the sides of the bowl.
If you do it right.
Yeah.
The doo-doo move out the way.
Yeah, I have a lot of iron in my poop. It's not everybody.
Oh, my God.
It does sound, though, like if I were using a process of elimination, which I imagine your mother may have been doing at the time, that maybe if you turned out all the lights and you've turned out all the things that in theory conduct electricity, and you additionally had to consider other things that might be a threat to your child, something shimmery and or silver would fall into like a safer category than, let's say, trench coat Raphael. You know what I mean?
Right.
Native American Michelangelo, whatever the other alternatives you had in your house. One of the other things that I wanted to look up, and this was pretty exciting actually, is that apparently I wanted to look up weird stories or insane stories of lightning strikes, and there are some pretty weird ones. And apparently the person who has been struck the most by lightning is a man named Roy Cleveland Sullivan, who worked as a park ranger in Shenandoah. Shenandoah, okay, hell yeah, National Park in Virginia between 1942 and 1977, and he claims to have been struck by lightning, hold for the drum roll, 7 times. 7 times he was struck by lightning and survived all of them. I'm seeing some skepticism on your faces.
Well, I first of all want to make light of the fact that you thought it might be Shenandoah.
He mispronounced it twice. Shenandoah. If you hadn't corrected him, there's no telling how many different ways he could have went with that.
Fellas, I was going to keep making noises till I made it feel right.
Sounded like a rookie outside linebacker. Shenandoah. Oh, come close.
Just a nice Samoan man who moved to the States to play football.
Oh, man. But 7 times, that's documented. Who was there?
So that's the thing. It's rare, I think, that lightning strikes and there's just somebody there being like, whoa, you got struck by lightning.
And they're just like, that's secret. This is crazy.
Roy, you are on a roll, my man.
I got to flip to the next page, Roy. This is wild, man.
He did have a number of sort of like artifacts to sort of demonstrate or like things that he had to show for it. Like twice, I think he got struck on the top of his head and it like singed the middle of his ranger hat and basically burned a hole in the middle. And at one point lit his hair on fire. So all of that stuff is documented. And I don't know that he did that independently. You know what I mean? I don't think that he was just like fucking around and lighting his hair on fire on his own. You know what I mean?
So this leads to my next question. How much silver did my man have on him?
Oh, he was drippy.
Pockets are lined with Shredder toys. Yeah. We need to find out if he was an avid Shredder collector.
Yeah.
And he's just like, under no circumstances am I ever leaving the house without these. I don't care how many times I get. I would rather die than not have Shredders in my
I don't give a fuck what my mom says.
Yeah, he's like, I got struck 6 times. It's not going to happen again.
It's only making super shredders. It's only making super shredders.
Oh man, how old was he? Is he dead now?
He has to be dead. He was born in like 1913 or some shit like that.
And did he die of lightning complications?
I don't think so. I think he like lived a pretty regular life. It seems this is what makes it even crazier is that it doesn't even feel like he got messed up that bad from his lightning strikes.
That
like
can't be true.
His
did he have
legs.
Kids?
I didn't look all that up.
If you get hit by lightning, does not work.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
That's the first thing I thought. If that goes, there's no way you're going to make a regular. His kid better be fast as fuck.
He made
Right.
Raiden. His baby's Raiden. If,
Okay,
if you
that
get
makes
struck like lightning 7 times, you are making electronic children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you come, it says finish him, and then Raiden comes out. Yeah. That's not my best joke, but I got some. I got some.
No, it was good.
It was solid.
I also read about one of the oldest and worst lightning strikes ever recorded happened in a town called Brescia, Italy. Does anybody have a correction for Brescia? I don't know how to pronounce it.
I think it actually might be Tittiesville.
Okay, Tittiesville, Italy. In 1769, a church was being used as a battery to store approximately 100 tons of gunpowder. The church took a direct hit of lightning, and all the gunpowder eventually caught fire and exploded. After all the dust settled, nearly a sixth of the city was destroyed and killed nearly 3,000 people.
Oh, my God.
Wow, I started laughing too early.
Yeah, sorry, fellas. Sorry, this can't all be fun and games. 3,000 dead Italians from the 1700s.
Sounds like a shredder job to me. No, I wish you would give me some kind of heads up.
I'm sorry, I laughed too early. You could not have anticipated that's how that story ended, man.
No, we've been having such a good time. And then
I'm sorry. I'll tell you one more example, and this one actually is pretty fun. This one doesn't get sad. But I found a part of the National Weather Service website that is self-submitted like lists of recent survivors of lightning strikes. Like people can write in there and be like, I survived and this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. And most of the injuries that they report are like, it ranges. It's the full gamut. They chronic pain, memory loss, comas, depression, ears ringing, loss of muscle function, all of that shit. But there was one person on this list, a woman named Missy, who claimed to have gotten extrasensory perception, ESP, from her encounter with lightning.
So, okay, and some of our I know, but some of our listeners maybe don't fully understand ESP as an actual, like that guy Kreskin invented it, right? I don't know much about. Well, it's me. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the fuck it is, Langston.
Listen, I'm glad you're asking that. And in fact, I tracked down the email that she sent. Oh. And I can read it to you all now. The subject line is high price for pizza, ? Supernatural side effect, ? And she says, I was struck by lightning about 12 years ago. No one ever told me that you weren't supposed to be on a landline telephone during an electrical storm. So there I was. Say it again.
She didn't have a black mom.
No black mama.
Certain.
How did you get here? Bitch, I called the bus. Nobody supposed to be here. Well, bitch, I came to fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That one didn't even make that much sense.
Right.
It just felt right.
Boy, what? You know what? I don't mind it.
Yeah, sometimes it's jazz. Sometimes it's magic. It's not science, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. She says, so there I was calling in a carryout pizza order when I noticed that the lightning and thunder was getting more intense and coming more frequently. I heard static on the phone line, which kept getting louder and louder. Then I heard what sounded like a loud explosion. And at the same time, I noticed a bright white light at my feet, which was football shaped and had spikes. It blew me across the floor and I was knocked out for a few seconds. My son came running into the kitchen to find me laying there on the floor. When I started to get a numbing feeling on one side of my body, starting at the toes and working upward, he called 911. After spending several hours in the emergency room, they confirmed that I had been hit by lightning through the phone lines. After the strike, I noticed a strange side effect. It's almost as if I got ESP, extrasensory perception, every once in a while. There have been times where I speak someone's name, someone that I haven't heard from or seen in many years, and all of a sudden they walk in the door. or time I knew my plumbing was going to back up in the laundry. And sure enough, that night it happened. I've had eerie feelings about this just before they've actually happened. I've actually created a list somewhere in my house of these incidents because I couldn't believe it myself. Most people that know me are amazed, and so am I. This periodic thing only started after my lightning incident.
Wow.
How bought in are we, fellas?
Not at all.
No, I don't believe this.
Maybe
woman.
I'm just a cynic in my old age. I about 3 sentences in, I was like, girl. And that was like,
oh, you knew the laundry was gonna back up because the shit's been rattling for 6 months.
Yeah.
Fucking call your landlord. What are you talking about?
They're not great examples. She's
No.
not nailing it with the examples for ESP.
no, not at all.
Yeah,
I'm out.
Like,
yeah, I don't.
If that was Shark Tank, I'd be like, I'm out. Don't worry. For this reason, I don't believe you. For this reason, I'm out.
Yeah. I'd be like, I actually have a lot of friends in the laundry space.
It is a wild choice to be like, no, I did get superpowers, and what is my power? I can tell when my laundry room is gonna stop working the way it's supposed to.
Yeah,
like,
that's
Just don't buy it.
you wasted your powers, baby girl.
Wasted it.
Yeah. And did they get that pizza for free?
I don't think so. I don't think the pizza got delivered. It sounds like she had a rough night without pizza and also shitty superpowers.
Damn.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some.
Exactly.
I think if we can all agree, it seems as if we are all sort of certain that Shredder toys are in no way a threat in a lightning storm.
1000%.
And unfortunately, superpowers are not easily achieved. Even for those who are struck by lightning, it requires a more miraculous interaction with chemicals in a body to truly turn you supernatural.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's
100%.
fair.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, Kev, I think we did it. I think this is this is the whole shebang.
This is perfect, man. I still got time to go to my son's soccer game. This is great timing. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Hell
thanks
yeah.
for doing it.
Do you want to tell the people where they can find you and what cool shit you have going on?
Nah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I love that.
If they're curious enough, that I should be easy enough to find.
Yeah.
And that's not saying it's just like,
No, you go viral often enough that I think they'll bump into you.
Yeah.
That's fair to say.
Yeah.
Come see about me. KevOnStage. Just search that wherever you're looking. You'll probably find me.
Well, not us. We still plug. Bori, what you got?
I'm going to be at the Comedy Bar in Seattle, Washington, and on the 27th and 28th, and I desperately need you to buy tickets. Go on my Instagram, CoolGuyJokes87, and all my links are there. I got some other dates coming up, but that's what I got right now.
Yeah, and as always, you can follow me at Langston Kerman. I don't have dates just yet to tell you about, but they're coming. And if you want to send us your own conspiracy theories, if you want to send us your own drops, if you want to tell us how you achieved your superpower, send it all to mymommapod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Go to mymommatoldme.merchcentral to buy some of the merch that we have cooking. They are moving them shirts and hats. They're moving fast. We want y'all to have them. So go there and subscribe, do whatever bullshit you're supposed to do to keep the podcast afloat. We love it. We need it. We love you. That's the whole thing. Bye, bitch.
Look, if you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you get in trouble,
Call a crackhead.